Life has a funny way of moving incredibly fast. One minute you're starting a new chapter, and before you know it, it's already over. School finishes, you leave a job, you move house, relationships begin and end, friendships come and go. Seasons of life pass before you even realize they were happening. I think that's one of the reasons life can feel so overwhelming at times. We're always looking towards what's next that we rarely stop to appreciate what we've just lived through. We close one door and immediately start searching for the next one, without ever taking a moment to look back and think about it. Lately, I've been thinking about life like a book. It's a perfect way to think about it. Not because every chapter is perfect, but because every chapter has something worth remembering. Some are exciting, others are painful, some feel like they last forever, while others seem to disappear in the blink of an eye. But every single one shapes the person you become. That's something to remember. I've been trying to become more intentional about recognizing those chapters while I'm living within them, rather than only appreciating them years later. There are a few simple habits that have really helped me to do that, and I thought I'd share them with you today. Maybe they'll encourage you to slow down and appreciate the season you're in a little more. I think one of the healthiest things we can do is acknowledge when a chapter has come to an end. We don't really do that anymore. We finish one thing and immediately throw ourselves into the next. We graduate on Friday and start work on Monday. We leave one house and begin unpacking another. We move so quickly that we never give ourselves permission to reflect. Let's take leaving a workplace. For example, instead of rushing out of the door for the last time, spend a few extra minutes there. Walk around the office or workshop one last time. Look at the place that has become so familiar you barely notice them anymore. Sit down with a coffee and think about the people you've met, the lessons you've learned, and even the difficult moments that helped shape you who you are today. That's exactly what I did for myself. I don't want my last memory to be handing back equipment and driving through the front gate. I drove around one last time. I took a moment to remember the friendships, the exercises, the long days, and the moments that have changed me. Not because I want to live in the past, but because I want to leave the chapter with gratitude instead of rushing into the next one. And sometimes all it takes is sitting quietly for 10 minutes, allowing yourself to feel whatever comes up, happiness, sadness, excitement, or even uncertainty. They're all part of closing one chapter before beginning another. Another thing I've started appreciating is taking more photographs. I know some people say that constantly taking photographs take you out of the moment, and I think there's definitely some truth in that, of course. But if you're looking at life through a screen the entire time, you probably aren't experiencing it properly. But I also think that photographs have a beautiful way of preserving memories that would otherwise disappear. One single photo can transport you back years. You remember where you were, who you were with, what you were talking about, and even how you were feeling in the moment. Lately, I've been wanting to go a step further and actually print my favorite photographs. Instead of leaving thousands of memories buried somewhere on my phone, I'd rather create photo albums that represent different seasons of my life. Maybe one album is dedicated to traveling overseas, another for the army, another for family, or even friends, right? There's something really special about holding memories in your hands. Maybe one day those albums won't just mean something to me, but maybe they'll become something I can give to my children or my grandchildren so they can look through them long after I'm gone. If you've watched my videos before, you'll know how much I enjoy journaling. Out of everything I've spoken about today, this is probably the habit that has helped me the most. Whenever a chapter feels like it's coming to an end, I try to write about it. Not just what has happened, but what it's meant to me. How I felt during the season, what I struggled with, what I'm grateful for now that it's over. Writing has a funny way of slowing your thoughts down. Things that feel confusing in your head suddenly become much clearer once they're on the paper. Sometimes I'll start writing about one event and realize that the lesson has nothing to do with the event at all. Our memories change over time. We forget details, we unintentionally rewrite parts of the story, but journals preserve that, something far more valuable than the facts. They preserve the perspective. They remind you who you were, what you believed, and how you grew through that season of life. There's something incredibly comforting about opening an old journal years later and stepping back into that chapter, even if only for a few minutes. Life moves far too quickly just to rush through every chapter without ever stopping to appreciate it. And that's why I implore you all now to try and do that. I think taking the time to reflect helps us carry the right things into the next season. It helps us remember the lessons, hold on to our friendships, and let go of the things that we never meant to carry. Maybe that's why I like thinking life as a book. Every chapter has a beginning, every chapter has an ending, and every chapter prepares you for the next one. So the next time you feel a season of life coming to an end, don't rush to turn the page. Take a walk, write a journal entry, take a photograph, sit quietly with a cup of coffee. Thank God for everything that chapter gave you. Then, when you're ready, turn the page knowing the next chapter is waiting to be written. I'd love to know if there's a certain way that you like to cherish your memories or chapters of life. Let me know down in the comments. As always, I'm Jaden Connolly, and thank you for watching.